Whenever there is a crime, there must be a criminal. But how long it will take to find a criminal, no one can tell. Sometimes the criminal is caught within a few days, and sometimes it took years to solve a case. It was 1979 when a 12-year-old girl named Lesia Jackson lived with her parents and brothers in a small town. Lesia had long hair and wore glasses. She was a Washington junior high school student and excelled in her studies. In the town where she living, there was a big lake where many people used to go swimming by hot summer days. Lesia loved the lake and would like to learn to swim, so she used to visit the lake often with her two older brothers. On September 7, 1979, Lesia and her two brothers planned to go swimming at the lake because it was a very hot summer day. After coming home from school, Lesia and her brothers went to the lake where there were already a lot of people and friends of them. It was already 7 p.m. and people started returning to their homes from the lake. Lesia's brothers told Lesia that it has been late and that they should go home. But Lesia wanted to spend more time at the lake. Lesia told the brothers that they should go home and that she stay for a bit and will be home in a little while. After a little insistence, the brothers agreed to Lesia and went home, leaving Lesia alone. As soon as they reached home, the mother asked the brothers where Lesia was. The brothers answered that Lesia would stay a bit longer at the lake and that she will return home in a bit. But the mother was very worried because she knew that Lesia could not stay alone. Lesia's mother and father both took the car and went to the lake to see where Lesia is swimming. But when they arrived at the place where Lesia and her brothers were swimming the whole afternoon, they saw that Lesia was nowhere to be seen. The parents frantically searched the streets and roads for Lesia, but could not find her. They checked the houses of her cousins and friends, but she was not there either. Now the parents had no option but to inform the police. They told the police that their daughter Lesia had not reached home yet, and they were very worried. Within hours, a police officer arrived to meet Lesia's parents at their home. During the interrogation, it was found that a friend of Lesia had seen her somewhere. The police officer questioned the friend, and he said that he had seen Lesia sitting at a place on her way back from the lake. Lesia's friend said that when he saw Lesia, on his way back he saw a car which driving very fast. The car drives so fast that people have to jump away to save themselves from the collision of the car. The next day, the police searched for Lesia but could not find her. So the police assumed that Lesia must have been run over by that speeding car. But if Lesia was crushed by a car, where was her body? A large police team scoured the city to search for the body, but could not find any sign of Lesia. A police team also investigated the lake with the help of boats to find that Lesia might have drowned in the lake while swimming. But this police team also had to return disappointed. The police also searched extensively in the forest around the lake, but were unsuccessful again. As days passed, Lesia's family and the police were getting more and more worried. The police also involved Lesia's brother in the search operation so that with his help, Lesia could be reached. The police arrived to search the place where Lesia's friend last saw her. There the police found the broken glasses, and Lesia's brother confirmed that the glasses belonged to Lesia because she wore this at the day she disappeared. The broken glass, leading the police to believe that Lesia must have been hit by a car. On September 14, 1979, an employee of a company arrived at a site to repair a pipeline, and while working he found some body parts that had been decomposed. The employee thought at first that it might be the remains of an animal, but after looking better, he gets shocked of seeing a body of a young girl lying there with no clothes on. Due to the intense heat, the body had decomposed and smelled bad. He immediately informed the police. The police reached there and started an investigation. The police found the clothes there that were tangled and found out that those clothes belonged to Lesia, the girl who disappeared a few days earlier. After testing the DNA, they found out that the young girl who was found is the missing girl Lesia, and looking at the body, it was clear that Lesia had been badly beaten. The news of finding the dead body came as a shock to Lesia's parents, and Lesia's parents couldn't believe that their daughter had been murdered. The research team also found samples of male sperm near Lesia's body, which led to the belief that Lesia had also been raped. After the body of Lesia was buried, the family left the city to move somewhere else because they could not live in this city anymore. The police are still looking for the killer, but so far have not been able to find any evidence, and no one knows what precisely happened on the day of September 7th. The police hired a famous officer who had combat experience and a reputation for investigation. As soon as he started the investigation, he started arresting the suspects, arresting whoever he suspected. He arrested 2 people on suspicion, searched their homes, and found some objects that were found near Lesia's body. The police officer became convinced that those people could be Lesia's killers, but both men were unwilling to confess. The officers coerced written confessions from the 2 men, and reports circulated in the media that the confessions were made by the police after severe torture and that the men had not committed the crime but were confessing to avoid violence. But this was categorically denied by the FBI. They said that no violence was committed. The police, on their part, had fixed it and nabbed the culprits. But when the case came before the court acquitted the accused as the evidence collected was insufficient, and the case is back to where it started. Now it has been a year since Lesia's death, but the culprit could not be caught. Slowly, the case went cold, and the investigation was almost stopped. In 2006, the case was reopened when an old schoolmate of Lesia's, who was posted as an investigation officer in the police, reopened the case of her schoolmate. The girl sent samples from Lesia's body for DNA testing, but unfortunately, the DNA found did not match the FBI's criminal list. Years passed, and in 2018, another investigating officer became interested in the case and wanted to reopen the case, but Lesia's family was unwilling to cooperate, as the family said they did not want to go through those bitter memories again. Lesia's brother said that they have forgiven the killer because they have to move on with their lives, and they don't want to go back to the past again. In 2022, a new DNA testing technology called MVAC was introduced and became available, so the investigating officer decided to use this new technology to try to solve Lesia's case. And with this advanced technology, DNA samples could be better collected and tested. The police did just that. DNA samples were collected from a shirt found near Lesia's body, and for this purpose, modern technology was used. After collecting the samples, now it was the turn of the results, and everyone was impatiently waiting to see if the 43-year-old case could be solved with the help of this technology or not. When the DNA samples were matched with the criminal list, everyone was shocked to see the result. The samples had matched. DNA samples were matched to a man named Casey, an ex-assassin. Inquiries about Casey revealed that Casey was sentenced to death in a murder case in 2002 and was later executed by lethal injection. Casey had killed many other people than Lesia, and in the case in which he was sentenced to death, he committed the murder 10 years after Lesia's murder. Apparently, this was supposed to be the reason why Casey, the killer, did all the murders for money. But why did he kill Lesia? No one had the answer. And Casey himself was not there to answer this, because he already died 20 years ago. Either Lesia or Casey knew this secret, but both took it to their graves. But the police were happy that finally, after 43 years, a terrible crime case has come to an end. We hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss any of our solved and unsolved crime and murder mysteries. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next case.